Good morning, everyone, and welcome back in for another episode of the Main Event Mixer here at the Main Event Wrestling Network. I'm your host this morning, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and I am joined by the dads of the network. We got Tucky, my co-host from OTM, and the podcast dad, one half of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Fellas, how we doing this morning?
Good morning.
Hey.
You guys seem tired. Did you have like...
Oh, he's already frozen. We're off to a hot start. I've been awake a while. I'm not overtired. I didn't have a crazy evening. Podcast dad. Any crazy Saturday shenanigans for you?
I just came home from brunch, so that was good. But
nice
with the kids, so that's always fun.
That's a work lunch right there. It's fine. I picked up Mr. and Augie yesterday, and then we went right to breakfast, and I was right back into fatherhood after being on hiatus for about 2 weeks. So, I need to consider other humans. He's making a fucking mess. So, but Gags, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm a little hungover. I tell you what, the older I get, it doesn't take much alcohol for me to feel like crap the next day. So that's a sign that I'm getting older. But I am really curious about the podcast dad spread this morning for brunch, because he recommended when we were in Cleveland, I think it was the blackened catfish, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And it was fantastic. So I got to hear what you were munching on this morning.
Well, we don't have that in Cincinnati because Cincinnati sucks. But I had some avocado toast. That's what I did.
Safe. I don't mind avocado toast.
Avocado toast and some black coffee.
There you go.
That's all you need, right? A little black coffee in the morning gets you going.
Did the job. I'm going to do the podcast. I'm going to go take a nap, and then I'm going to watch the Eagles at 4. So,
yeah, and then I get to watch the Packers at night, which I don't like primetime games, but that's a don't start this shit. This isn't the Wrestling Junkies podcast, sir. Just because you beat the Packers once.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I mean, just look at the results. Yeah. Joe Burrow's worst game was against the Eagles.
Yeah, this is true. But Mr. Cincinnati's not even here to talk about it. Where's your co-host at? Was he hungover or something?
Yeah, he went to SantaCon yesterday.
That sounds like fun, actually.
I'm sure it is, but he was I don't think he's feeling well this morning. He's old too, so he understands.
Well, how old is he again? I know we're putting him on blast.
I think he's 34. 34 and 33.
Not too bad. But
no, he's not that much older.
Not old numbers. Not the oldest numbers.
Wait, are you the oldest?
I'm 35.
Oh,
yeah. Podcast mom's 40. So
what?
Yeah,
you don't look 40.
You didn't know that?
I had her at 29. Damn.
29 is a good number. Hey, boys, before we get into things, don't forget that every Main Event Mixer is brought to you by Gorilla Press Apparel. Head on over to gorillapressapparel.bigcartel.com. Use promo code MEM24 and you will save some money. The podcast dad is showing you some of the great merch they have to offer. I'm not sure what their Twitter handle is. Do you know it off the top of your head, podcast dad? But I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
I will find it real quick.
But yeah, great stuff over there. I just got their 3/4 baseball tee. Very comfortable shirt. Looks great. Tuck, I don't know if you've got the chance to check out their merch, but they got some great stuff over at Gorilla.
I've got a short list of items that I would like to do some holiday shopping for myself. And when I do, I'm going to head to Twitter at Gorilla Press App, APP, at Gorilla Press App. A fun brand, because this is with Gorilla Press. If you're going to a show, right? So we go to wrestling shows. We're wearing merch. Somebody's on the card. What if you're at an indie and you don't have some merch? What if you're going to a wrestling event, but maybe it's not attached to a specific brand? Gorilla Press Apparel's a great opportunity to rep the business, the culture, with a number of people that are like-minded as well. They're in the apparel space. We're in the Let's Talk on Microphone space. Those two go pretty well together. So Gorilla Press app on Twitter, gorillapressapparel.bigcartel.com, MEM24 is the code. There we go. That's a code, save you a few bucks. You'll love it.
Also, if you are a wrestler, an announcer, a referee, ask Gary J how the partnership's going. His stuff is selling out like crazy. If you need apparel for your tables, if you are in the business, reach out to these guys. They will get you a mock-up real quick. They will get you your merch real quick. These guys are really, really good, and they're local Ohio company. Local, I say in Cleveland, but that's why we're partnering with them. Go give them a follow on Twitter. Go buy their stuff. Come on, it's that easy.
Exactly. And I want to credit you guys and the Indie Wrestling Guide podcast. You guys already had that established relationship with Gorilla Press. I had some conversations with them as well. Here we are, the perfect pairing, the Main Event Wrestling Network and Gorilla Press Apparel. So use that code MEM24. And if you're interested in getting some Main Event merch, maybe like the t-shirt that I'm wearing right here, you got the Main Event logo in the corner, head on over to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com and use promo code XMIS. You will save 10% off your order. You can also get that tapestry that is behind the podcast ad and myself for each of our podcasts. It is on that website. So if you want to support the network, that is another way of doing so. And don't forget, guys, we are looking to get to 50 subscribers. We are currently at 49. There is 26 people watching right now, Podcast Dad. So what's that magic number to get us over that hump?
Man, it feels weird having you ask me what the magic number is, but it's just one. Just like how you acknowledge your tribal chief. It's just one. Go tell one person if you enjoy what we're doing here, hit the subscribe. I don't care who you tell, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your dog. Go tell the Jimmy John's worker, hey, you like wrestling? No? All right, just go subscribe anyway. Have some fun. We like to have some fun. Let's just continue to do this. Oh, what that was.
Amateur hour over here.
Continue to do this. It helps us. It helps, speaking for my podcast, speaking for your podcast as well, it helps us kind of give back to the indie community, right? Like we are very big independent wrestling supporters. If you guys help support us, we can help support them, and we can just keep this golden era, as Triple H would say. It's better than the Attitude Era. This era of wrestling going. It keeps it going, and I love giving back. So go follow us, go follow them, go follow all of us, and don't be a dick.
Exactly. That's the number one rule here at the Main Event Wrestling Network. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna be a dick, do it to each other. We bust each other's balls. That's what we do over here. But speaking of the network, guys, if you have any interest in maybe joining the network, reach out to any one of us as well, and we can have those conversations, whether you're a blogger, podcaster, all that good stuff. And of course, if you're watching right now, don't forget to leave your comments, share your thoughts as well as we break down everything that happened at Saturday night's main event. So guys, I say we get right into it. I'm going to ask a general question here just to start. The overall presentation, of course, we saw the return of Pat McAfee. We weren't expecting that. That was cool. Jesse the Body Ventura working with Joe Tessitore on commentary and then working that main event as well. Podcast Dad, let me ask you first. How'd you feel about the overall vibe to Saturday night's main event?
This was a fun televised house show. That's what this was. We kind of went into this thinking it was going to be kind of that PLE atmosphere, and it wasn't, and that's okay. It was. I think we now know, because they're going to have another one of these, I think, before the Rumble. Mm-hmm. I think we know what to expect now. Like, I don't know if we knew what we were going to expect going into this one, kind of like how we didn't know what to expect going into some of these Saudi shows under the Triple H era. It was a fun house show, and I think moving forward, that's how we're going to have to look at these.
I think that's fair, Tuck. Would you agree with Mr. Podcast Dad over here?
Yeah, I would say this is it's an elevated TV show where the packaging's a little bit different. It's for me infrequent enough to maybe tune into if it's once a month, or I think there's going to be some months or two slammed to get one in. I like the rebrand, the repackaging. The crowd was white hot, and this is actually interesting. This is the first time that WrestleTix reported a higher number than WWE did. WrestleTix had him over 15,000, and Michael Cole reported 14,200. So that's an observational note, something that Vince McMahon was not shy to add a 6K on top of any number. And so, the presentation was fun. I just liked the brevity of the video packages. They got a 5-match card that I felt left some meat on the bone. Some of these 5-match PLEs, get after it to and through. But for a 12-minute main event, that left me because at 6:28, KO started coming out. So they had 32 minutes and we got 12 minutes. So that was it left a little bit to be desired, but also a way to keep stories going. I thought it was great. I'd give it a B+, A-.
All right, there we go. There's your Saturday night main event recap show, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna go now.
No, but seriously, guys, and maybe it's just I'm a little biased because our network is kind of a play on Saturday night's main event, but it just had a feel-good, vibe to it as a whole. It wasn't anything outstanding, kind of like what you guys were alluding to, but I thought the addition of Jesse the Body was nice. He was hilarious on commentary. I wasn't a part of that era, so I don't know much about him, but to kind of get that nostalgia feel a little bit with all the graphics and the retro barricades, walking to the ring, I thought that was cool. But the first match, let's talk about it, where Drew McIntyre defeated Sami Zayn. I thought this was a fun one, Tucky, because these are two workhorses on Monday Night Raw. We expected Drew McIntyre to win. He gets the win here. What'd you think about this opener?
The thing that I came away from this opener was the presentation of the stars and how much time Michael Cole spent unpacking each of them to us, who they are, why they should matter, why they are wrestling. Like we talked about before we went live, I think they cared a lot to unpack the product to those potentially watching for the first time in a long time or the first time ever. Yes. And what a way to start off the main event. You get the common man body type in Sami Zayn. You get the chiseled athletic freak in Drew McIntyre. And on their way, I liked the tail of the tape as they were walking up, a few more tidbits. I had forgot that Sami Zayn has never defeated Drew McIntyre. So helpful to seasoned vets as well. So a good start to the show. And I'm interested. For me, the takeaway for me is what happens with Drew next. Who does he go after next? A compelling storyline running parallel to the Bloodline saga and feud.
Yeah, Podcast Dad, I think what could be next is what we saw on SmackDown. How did you feel about this match, though?
This match was fine. It was a TV match again. I think Drew needed the win. Sammy's bulletproof at this point. I don't think a loss hurts him right now. I think he's fine for the moment. But I think Drew needed the win coming off of losing the feud to Punk. We need to continue to build Drew up a little bit more, in my opinion, because I think he is one of the top heels in the company at the moment. So you need to have credible heels when that credible heel eventually challenges a champion, Damian Priest. But when Finn Balor, when that happens, right, you have to give them the wins. I like what Tucky said about like Michael Cole explaining everything, because this was kind of more of a casual audience. This is on NBC. People, I don't know if people still flip channels, but is that still a thing? But like people, maybe looking and go, oh, what's this? Right. We've never seen this. And like you said, you see Sami Zayn come out and you're like, this guy's a wrestler. And then you see Drew come out and you're like, what's happening? That's how you catch people's eye, and then you give them the information. So, and Michael Cole does a great job doing that. I'm interested to see what's next, because he looks like he's going after the Bloodline. He took out Jay, he took out Jimmy, took out Sammy. Roman's next, I assume.
Maybe.
Where
Roman's
does that
got
happen?
Solo on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't care.
For the Ufalafa.
Where does that happen? I don't know. Could that be?
Royal
I don't want to say mate. I think everybody's going to be
Chamber.
It could be Chamber. I think everybody's going to be in the Rumble. I think this Rumble is going to be just stacked. A third of it's going to be the Bloodline anyway. So you just, realistically,
we're still waiting on debuts too. There's still people that could be coming.
Well, there's one in NXT I'm not looking forward to, but
not a Hikuleo guy.
He's not very good.
I don't know much about him, so I guess I'll make my assessment when he comes to WWE.
He's okay. He's not. Jacob Fatu spoiled us. I will say that. But
Zillow would be interesting though.
Drew won. Drew was good. I'm excited to see what's next. Let's continue to build him up. Sammy's fine.
Yeah,
But a good TV match, I would say.
I'm agreeing with a lot what you're saying. I mean, but seriously though, the way Drew McIntyre has been presented as of late, how can you not like this guy? He's just a badass. He just looks cool. I had a Christmas party last night. There was probably like 20 people over. Nobody knows a thing about wrestling. But when Drew McIntyre came on their television screen, they go, "Who the hell is that guy?" He passed
Look
the
at those
airport
muscles.
test.
Look
Yeah.
at that chest hair. Look at those flowing locks. Look at the vascularity. And then you look across the ring at Sami Zayn and you're like,
Sammy's got like an 8-pack now, though.
he's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting there, you know, but when you look, if you are used to weight class wrestling, it would certainly strike you as a mismatch, but that is the beauty of professional wrestling.
Yeah, you were listing off all that stuff about Drew. I closed my eyes. I thought I heard Vince.
God damn it, God damn it, pal. And how do you take away a 6-foot sword from a guy and he gets cooler? You know what I mean? Like,
because he had a 6-foot sword, he looks stupid.
Yeah.
that's
He's like a kid just carrying his favorite toy around.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah, he got rid of that sword. He got rid of the bracelets. He's done playing with toys. He's just
a mad human, which is far more believable than like a Scottish psychopath. I'm Scottish and I'm mad.
Yes,
No, being
right.
pissed off for valid reasons at people can propel these stories too.
It's almost like
You know,
all
we
these
asked-
heels have that.
Yeah, this is true. We asked about what's next for Drew, but what's next for Sami Zayn, do you guys think? That's tough.
It is tough.
I
You
can't
can
think of
plug
the
and
top
play
of
him
my head.
anywhere. I mean,
Would you
Could
like
he
to
be
see him
one
get
of the-
back involved with Kevin?
I think that's going to be the Mania match.
I do too. I think that's where the
that'll
money's at.
eventually will happen.
Dude, think
We're-
about Mania.
we're to
You
get
could do Sami Zayn KO. You could do
Rollins.
Punk Rollins.
No Rollins.
There's a
Rock
guy named
Reigns.
Cody Rhodes that could be on the card. Roman Reigns. And this is not even looking at the women's division with some
Charlotte coming back.
the
Tiffany
Becky
with
of
Becky
it all.
Lynch. Becky
Tiffany
Lynch is
in the
gonna come back.
briefcase. Like
Becky Lynch. Yeah, holy
we're
Jade
eating.
and Bianca.
shit. Yeah.
I could definitely see myself a last minute ticket purchase if the prices come down to get down there because I don't have to plan for it.
Yeah.
I could the house is open down there, so we'll see. Also, could save a lot of money not buying 14 WrestleMania shirts. It's a problem.
What's the point of going then?
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't
What's
that what
the
Mr.
point?
Cincinnati did for SummerSlam? Didn't he spend like hundreds of dollars?
I will not disclose the amount
I'm
of
not
money.
gonna say.
I am rarely outclassed at the merch booth, and Mr. Cincinnati
You have not seen his closet.
had a weekend. Yeah. Mhm.
Is it a lot of Gorilla Press apparel?
It's a lot of that, but that man has probably over 500 wrestling t-shirts.
That's a mark.
I
That
don't
is-
think he's worn the same one on our show twice.
I respect
Nice.
it. We need some main event merch in that arsenal now too.
Well, you got to win a bet to do that.
I guess.
Have your football team win a game, and then we'll get there.
They win games, just they don't win
Not
games
against good
the
teams.
good teams. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You read
Let's talk
my
about winning.
mind.
Let's talk about somebody winning, and we're all happy about it. Go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't this.
No, it was not that. I thought you were.
I
Well-
will get there. I know where you were alluding
Well,
to, but this is where
not
I
this.
was going next. Which
Not this.
we've talked about this before. We're not the biggest Liv Morgan fans, but hey, she found a way once again. Wait,
No. Well, I'm going to stop that slander. I like
Okay.
Liv Morgan. I don't like
Okay.
this feud. I'm done with the Judgment Day. Done.
Well, me too. We were talking about that this week on OTM. We just need this all to end. But after the match, after Liv retained, we got the confrontation between her and Mommy, so that's definitely happening. But Tuck, let's talk about the match itself. I thought it was kind of on the shorter end of things. Would have liked to maybe have gotten more out of these two, just because we know how great Io Sky can be. But it was fine. What do you think?
The thing that the first two matches for me had in common was there's this pace, they're fighting, there's back and forth, and then all of a sudden, boom, signature pin.
Yeah,
They
how does
they
that work?
both kind of turned a sharp corner Drew got the pin quick after a flutter with Sami Zayn, and then all of a sudden Liv hits her finisher seemingly out of nowhere. It wasn't like a definitive stamp. It was more of a short turn to finish the match to me. But I think there's more for Io Sky, and I think 2025 is going to be a good year for her. It feels like they're putting stock into her, and I also like that Liv Morgan has a thing. I'm just ready for her thing to be a new thing now, because that's always been my criticism. The Watch Me thing was not a thing, and now she has a character, and she almost looks like too tied to Dom when she's the one holding. She should be running that relationship the way Rhea did, in my opinion. I hope maybe one more Rhea gets the strap, and then we get Rhea Bianca at WrestleMania.
I don't know. Podcast had to say no adamantly. Break it down for us.
I'll cry.
I think it's going to be Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too.
Which opens the door for Io and Rhea, which
that would be a slap.
I'm in for that because we saw a little tease on the go home for Raw last week, and that was okay. I didn't know I was interested in that, but now I am. Yeah, this is Judgment Day has worn thin. I want them all to go away and just do something different. Yeah. I think Liv would be fine on her own right now. We just need to end this feud. If Rhea wins, that's fine. If Liv wins, that's fine. At this point, I don't even care. I just want it to end. That's just me being honest. I don't really care who holds the title. I just want a different feud. They've been feuding for 2 years now.
Feud fatigue, some would say.
And
if you're playing my GM, it would say the rivalry is getting stale.
Yes.
We got work. Yeah.
And we'll make a point. I'll make a point later in the episode about how I feel about the length of some of the things going on in the WWE right now. But this feud has gone on too long. I'm done with it. Finish it at Rumble. Don't care who wins. And let's move on. The match was fine. Again, it was a TV match. I think we need to lower our expectations of what Saturday night's main event is going to be, especially with it having commercials and everything. I think we just need to lower our expectations. But it was fine. It was a fine match. Fun to see Io wrestle.
Yeah, not much I have to add. Fine is probably the word I would use. And I'm a little biased. I'm not a Liv Morgan fan, and I'm an Io Sky mark. So that's probably why I didn't like it that much too. But it was just too short for me. And they were put in a situation where it wasn't going to be easy with 5 matches on a 2-hour card and all those commercials, like you said. So one of the matches, or a couple actually, probably got cut short. I think this was one of them. Whatever, we move on. Hopefully Rhea Ripley can take that title from Liv Morgan. But after that, guys, this was probably my favorite match of the card. The triple threat for the world title. Gunther defeated Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Man, when Damian Priest hit that Razor's Edge and then the coup de grace followed right after that to Gunther, that was a nice little spot. I just thought overall this was just 3 of the best talents on Monday Night Raw going at it, and they delivered. Tuck, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, this was the match I think a new viewer could watch and say, this is WWE. This is some of these pay-per-view level matches. Again, could have used 5 to 7 more minutes of it, but the way they used each guy, I'm nervous. Do you feel? I think my question to you two would be: do we feel that Priest and Balor is done?
No. It's never done.
So.
Never done.
It's never over.
Never over.
Great match. I never thought Gunther was at risk here. Between the 3,
really?
For me, podcast dad, expand.
Why do you book a triple threat match? So the champion doesn't get pinned. Yeah. I was legitimately worried. I'll let you finish your point, but I'm happy with the outcome.
For reference, the Liv Morgan Io Sky match was 9 minutes 5 seconds. Drew McIntyre defeated Sami Zayn in 10 minutes 5 seconds, and this one only went 11 minutes.
Damn, that felt longer. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
11 minutes 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
Yeah,
longest match of the card was 12 minutes flat. The
And
shortest
that-
match on the card was Chelsea Green and Mi Chin at 8.
And that's probably something they're going to have to adjust for next time. It's probably just 4 matches, right? I think they
Right.
tried to shoehorn 5 matches in there, and it didn't make any sense. So now, next time we'll probably get probably.
I mean,
Probably in a
Kevin
Hell in a
Hook's
Cell.
probably right.
The Demon's
Yeah.
going to come back and he's going to lose.
No,
Yeah,
and
probably going to happen.
Where's that Jet to bury him again?
Damian Priest comes out as a priest
Probably.
and fights Demon Finn Balor.
Damian Priest has come out as the Undertaker.
That's some Vince shit right there. The bisexual Undertaker.
Yes.
That's the running gag on
It's-
social media.
Oh,
I didn't
I
come
know.
up with that, people.
Oh, I know. Oh, but it's so true. Gunther looked good in this match, and I'm very happy he looked good in this match because leading up to this feud, he was the background player in his own title match, and
This is true.
they need to be done with Finn and Damian Priest going after the title. Did you see what was announced for the Chicago House Show?
No.
CM Punk and Gunther steel cage for the title.
Oh.
So that looks to be the direction we're going.
Gags, you going?
Wow. When is that house show? I feel like
It's
I should know about
after
this.
Christmas, but before New Year's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be
Yeah,
in
that week-
Michigan
that week
that
between.
weekend.
So
I'll be in Michigan.
I'll
that's
pull it up. I'll pull
that
up
looks like the
actual
direction they're going. Cool.
December 29th, Sunday, December 29th.
Oh, it's Sunday.
Sunday,
Ooh,
December
look, I
29th.
I just made you plans.
I could go from Detroit to Chicago. That's what I would have to
Good.
do. I'd be out in Detroit, so I might.
It's not that much longer of a drive. You just
No.
have to continue towards
Go
Chicago
through
instead of
Indiana.
bend down
Yeah.
towards NWI. You're
Just
working on the
geography
30th?
on the Main Event Network.
How about that? I'm just exposing everybody where I live too.
That's fine. You're fine. You don't live in
Like I said,
Detroit. Who
anything else
wants to
from
live
this
there?
match that you enjoyed?
I'm happy that Gunther looked better.
Yeah.
Cross on a
It-
pole match.
No, thank you. He looked better. He looked stronger. We needed this because the thing I've talked about on our show a lot is I hate the way he's been booked the last couple of months. Is because we're showing this vulnerability in Gunther, which is fine, but not to people that I don't think can take the title off of him. I don't think Finn Balor or Damian Priest, like one-on-one, we're going to take the title off of him. Punk, I could see them doing that, right? That's
Yeah.
believable. Eventually, I think what's going to happen is the man who cannot be seen is going to take the title off of him, but you need to build Gunther up to do that, because if you do that, that would be the 17th reign, that would be the historic reign, but you need to make it mean something. And that's crazy saying that about Gunther, who's lost 4 matches since he's been in the WWE.
Yeah.
But
count on
continue
one
to
hand.
book him as you've booked him the last however many years. And when Cena beats him, it's going to be such a big moment. So
The thing that's funny about Gunther is anybody, like people that don't know Walter from years ago, see Gunther and they call him Dad Bod. Like I've had people that are not familiar with the product see Gunther and they're like, "What's up with this Dad Bod guy?" I'm like, "You have no idea. You have no clue where this dude came from." And then I pull up a picture and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's the same guy." But
Go back to his indie days.
he needed to transform to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They wouldn't have put the strap on Big Walter, you know.
Well, that's why I get pissed off when everybody still calls him Walter, because I feel like Walter's a completely different person than the Gunther we are getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, main roster Gunther is a chiseled god with titles all the time. Sure, he had titles all the time when he was Walter, but like you said, he was a little fluffy. But that's okay.
Yeah.
You could be a little fluffy. It's
Oh, I
cool
have
with me.
been. Oh,
Fluffy
yeah.
Ducky. Oh, you were a Fluffy Boy too, podcast Dan?
I went to college.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I went through that phase myself, but yeah, that was my favorite match. And honestly, now that you brought up that CM Punk Gunther thing, it would make a lot of sense for Punk to maybe dethrone Gunther, because then you could have potentially Cena and Punk again. And I think we need to eventually do Cena versus Punk in 2025, because for me personally, that was my favorite Cena rivalry. That's where I got my start in wrestling, was John Cena and CM Punk. When he came out the Cult of Personality the first time, I think that was like my second month of watching wrestling, and I thought that was so cool because nobody knew who it was. I just want to see it. That's just me being selfish. But we do have a comment here from the Great Brown Hope. He said, Walter was still able to make that UK title run matter even in his previous figure. Dude was still scary tough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's disputing that, but good point, Great Brown Hope. We got 2 more matches to talk about, though. This next one, finally, podcast that we could talk about this because I know a lot of us are very happy for the red, white, and green as Chelsea Green became the first ever women's United States champion by defeating Michin in the finals. Tuck wasn't happy that I got the finals right and I got the champion right, but hey, I think we all can be happy that we got Chelsea Green, who has been a workhorse, as our first champion.
I'm not upset that it happened. I'm upset that you were right, to be clear. So I'm not upset that the match went the way that it did, that we got I'm happy. I'm glad, and we talked about it. Anytime Kyle Gagliardi is correct and I am not, is trash can emoji. That's just what it is.
This sounds a lot like the podcast down at Mr. Cincinnati every time I tune into their podcast. You guys are always just going back and forth.
Well, it's because I'm always right. And he's upset that I'm always right.
It's tough.
So
yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Were you right on this one? I think you were. Didn't you say Chelsea Green was probably going to win this?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I feel good. It was the right choice. She's done everything they've asked her to do, and this is the reward. Like, was she ever going to win the main women's title? Probably not. That's why
is this a way to make that more of a reality? I think
it could.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it could. Let's see how she does with it.
Right.
I'm going to go back to the women's tag champions. Like, what are those?
What are those?
Exactly. So hopefully these mid-card titles are something, right? Hopefully they mean something. And yes, this could be the launching point for her to get to that main event scene. But the character where she is at right now, perfect. Like, is a perfect mid-card champion act. And I'm excited to see what she does with it. She's going to be great on television like she always is. And we're going to get more TV time with Chelsea. So, yeah, perfect. And Michin looked great. She really did.
Yeah.
And eventually she will get this title as well. And 100%. This is just going to open a ton of doors for that mid-card talent that's not at that main event level quite yet. So I'm excited for these titles.
A perfect opportunity to give mid-card talent a way to elevate, make them credible, to go towards the bigger titles. Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green, the only couple in history to own United States gold. That's a little skewed because there's only been one female United States champion, but
right.
I loved the ring gear too. We haven't talked about the ring gear, but
one leg like Zack Ryder.
Mr. asked, is that her face on her gear? And I said, no, it is. And then we had a conversation about how do you present that to the designer? I want gear, and then I just want my face like all over it. I guess.
How did Rick Rude do that?
True, right? But man,
I would like my face right here.
So many years ago, too. With how easy it is to print and sublimate and do all the things now, Rick Rude was ahead of his time.
Right, and the thing with becoming the first ever champion, there's a lot of pressure behind that. Like Kalani Jordan, same kind of situation when they introduced that title. I wasn't quite sure if she was the right choice, just because she didn't have the personality. I'm not worried about Chelsea Green because, like we've talked about before, she has turned everything into gold. Every opportunity that she has gotten in the WWE, she's knocked it out of the park. So her and having Piper, I love Piper Niven as just like that heater. She's been awesome, I think, the last couple months. They're even giving her a chance to shine on her own. She had a great match with Bianca Belair. So I think there's good stuff that's going to come out of this title reign. Tuck, was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, other than being upset about you being right. Like I said on the podcast, I hoped you would be right, but I thought they were just going to put it on Bayley, and so that gives me hope for the future that they'll take more risks with other and hopefully not give them know when to pull the plug on something that's not working. But if I had to bet my house, I would have betted on Bayley, given how they've treated or handled Chelsea Green up to this point, where it felt like everybody wanted her to do well, and they still kept her in those spots. But now, looking back at Money in the Bank, it's perfect for Tiffany to have the briefcase, and it's great for Chelsea to have the gold.
It ended up working out, and Chelsea survived.
with everything going, like both these shows are going to go to 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So there's complaining about more titles, but now these titles can main event these shows. You don't need like your world heavyweight, your WWE championship. Those can main event your PLEs. Like now you have multiple mid card titles that are going to feel important to main event 3 hour shows, which you can build and build and build, have special shows. So I'm okay with more titles. It's kind of the opposite of what I feel about AEW right now. Like AEW has too many titles. I think
I don't know
WWE
who's their champions.
I think Jericho's a champion.
I don't know who the trios champions are because I just found out Pac is 1/3 of them.
Oh yeah, it's Pac and Claudio and Wheeler Yuta.
That's right.
Wrestling junkie. But yeah, I'm okay with all of it. Like especially with we don't know what Netflix is going to be. We don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
It's good, and I'm happy for Chelsea because she's literally done everything they've asked, and here's your reward.
And like you said, I think Mi Chin probably will get her hands on that title very soon. She's going to be fine. Mi Chin's been another one that has been presented very well as of late. So looking forward to seeing what's on the horizon for Chelsea Green as champion. Great Brown Hope said if Jericho is a champion in your promotion in 2025, you're probably CMLL.
Well, that's right.
He's gonna be the champion next year, unless doesn't he have a match with Cardona actually coming up?
Yeah,
Final battle
for the Ring of Honor World Champion.
When is Final Battle? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Talk to
December
coming up.
I thought it was this one.
I believe the 20th, Friday.
Oh,
at the Hammerstein
next week.
Well,
we might have to watch that.
No, I'll be watching Notre Dame in Indiana.
Oh shit! Yeah, so why?
That is the Indiana World War III going on.
That's their state championship.
Come on,
you know,
Civil War. Oh yeah.
Guys,
Notre Dame in all the points, by the way.
Yeah, there's only one state that has 2 teams in the college football playoff, and it's Indiana, baby, the Hoosier State. We're known for basketball, but we got 2 football teams in there. I'm just saying.
Indiana's they'll both be out by the second round. It's fine.
Oh, how dare you!
The winner has to play Georgia. Good luck.
It doesn't have Carson Beck.
Okay. What was Carson Beck all year?
Yeah, I was going to say Carson Beck. And that was talking college football, guys. We really could have a spin-off show about sports.
Good.
And if you didn't know, I had a sports podcast for about 5 years. Tuck had a baseball podcast for about 2. So it is a possibility, but we don't have all the time in the world.
I do like the baseballs, too. Go Phillies.
I like the baseballs.
We're big baseball guys. Tuck had a Wheelhouse Baseball podcast. That's what
yeah.
Nice. It's a good one.
Nice. Let's get to this main event.
Speaking of football, the Great Brown Hope will be at the Chargers game today. Hey, that's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Go Chargers. I guess. I don't know who they're playing, but
they can win either way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do people in LA even care about football? But they cared about Cody Rhodes a couple years ago when he main evented at SoFi, and Cody Rhodes was successful in that main event of Saturday night's main event as he retained over Kevin Owens. Tuck, you talked about it. I think it was about a 12-minute match. A lot of shenanigans. I thought I was watching a Bloodline match for the amount of ref bumps that we got. I thought it was overbooked to shit, to be completely frank with you. It was cool to see the Winged Eagle title belt, but Tuck, they left a lot to be desired, in my opinion, in this main event.
Yeah, is it done? Is the feud that can't be it, right? Like the starting point, and then I don't know if you saw on social media the kerfuffle, the scrap between KO and Triple H.
You didn't see that?
A social media clip where Kevin Owens has his hands on the Winged Eagle belt by the entrance, and Triple H comes out. There's pushing, shoving. Triple H is yelling at him. So
I got it.
The KO character development as this rebel, hard to handle. Triple H getting a little physical there.
Holy shit! Yeah, I don't know if you could.
Yeah,
you probably can't see it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, KO hit a package pile driver after the show on Cody.
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Why wouldn't you do that on television?
Yeah,
they stretchered Cody out and everything, and that's what led to that. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you put that on the show? I don't understand that.
Are they intentionally, you think, leaving it off the show? Because they did that similar thing when Kevin Owens attacked Cody Rhodes after one of the PLEs?
I think there certainly is this social media spin on Kevin Owens where he's becoming this kind of viral rebel. You're getting part of his story through Twitter, and I think there's that social engagement aspect. I doesn't even feel like they had it booked in for time. You know what I mean? Because it wrapped up with Cody on his knees in the center of the ring with the title, you know, and they put the Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting graphic up, and then we were done. I don't know why they didn't put it on the show.
I don't know why you wouldn't put it on the show. I don't understand why you wouldn't put it on the show.
That would be another layer for those first time viewers still hanging on to the remote or watching the screen I think it's very intriguing. So I thought it was an interesting decision.
Podcast Dad, how'd you feel about this main event?
I hated it.
Sounds like you really feel.
The match was fine. I'm getting to the point where I want Cody to lose the title.
Me too.
And I didn't think I'd say that. I didn't think I'd say that at all. But like this Kevin Owens story has been really good, and I'm like, I want Kevin Owens to win this title.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting thing on X, and I can't remember who did it. Conrad Thompson retweeted it, but there's somebody put out there, KO left with the Winged Eagle title. Jesse Ventura called him the real world champion. What happens if he just starts coming out with that title, claiming he's the real champion?
Kind of like,
and then we have a ladder match at the Rumble with both titles hanging above the ring. And that's the blow off of this feud. I would be perfectly fine with that.
Podcast Dad, I think I found the tweet from Shan Man on Twitter.
Yes.
He said with Jesse Ventura saying that Kevin Owens was the real winner. This is basically what you said, but I'm just going to give him credit with the tweet. With Jesse Ventura saying that Kevin Owens was the real winner after the ref was injured and KO leaving with the Winged Eagle title, I'd love to see KO go everywhere with that title, calling himself the real WWE champion. Then this ends with both titles hung in the ladder match, like you said, between Cody and KO to end the feud. The winner is the overall champion.
Yeah.
Could be something.
That'd be fun.
Tuck, what do you think about that? That's interesting.
I'm here for it. I think with that main event, one thing that I thought was interesting was how heelish Jesse the Body Ventura was in putting down Cody and them allowing that to happen. And,
he had beef with Dusty.
He's in that heel commentator role, and it makes sense. That was the one thing that slightly contrasted with, like, it matters to first-time viewers. They allowed that to happen. And again, that's Jesse the Body Ventura, heel commentator. But I just felt like...
Did you notice that, sorry to cut you off, but this going off of your point, did you notice that Jesse said, notice how Cody Rhodes is the one that used the chair to win? Like, he's feeding that narrative that Cody might be a piece of shit. He called him a cheater.
Yeah, he called him a cheater when Cody Rhodes just did a move that happened to have KO's head land on a chair in the middle of the ring. I don't know. He didn't put the chair there, you know?
You're right, but you're right. You're right. I just give me Homelander Cody Rhodes soon and I'll be happy.
You think that happens after he eventually loses the title?
I think it's going to happen after Mania. I do. I think he'll probably have the title through Mania, and then he'll have that kind of Homelander moment, kind of like he did in AEW, where everybody's kind of turning on him, and then he just goes, F all you guys.
Right.
The reason I'm here is because they turned on me, and now look what I've done for this company. You guys need me, kind of thing. And I think that could be amazing for Cody. But I just want Kevin Owens to win the title. Like, win the title. Have it for a month. And I'd be totally fine with it. There is none.
That's what I was kind of saying on OTM this week. It's like, you could go the safe route, and they did go the safe route with this show, but they had the luxury of surprising us at this point. Like, we have that little gap between the Royal Rumble and now. What are you going to do? Kevin Owens as that unhinged champion would have been so much fun. But granted, it could be still what that Chan Man guy said on X as well. Like, we don't know what direction they're going in. But regardless, the main event, meh. The show, solid. I think we would all agree. Just good, okay. Yeah, B-, C+. Nothing too crazy like that. But Great Brown Hope said, we get Homelander Cody after he beats Roman at Mania. We want Roman. And kind of going off of what you guys are saying, I know a lot of people are like, you can't turn Cody Rhodes heel because then you don't have that true John Cena babyface. They still have CM Punk. They still have Roman Reigns.
They're still gonna have John Cena.
So you're gonna have John Cena, exactly. Like
you're literally gonna have Cena.
Yeah, the ultimate babyface. What if they turn John Cena heel in his final run?
See, I don't want. I'm not clamoring for a Roman title run right now. We just had 4 years of that.
Yeah, tell stories now.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't need it at the moment. Like, will we eventually probably get back there? Yeah, but right now there are a lot of other people I want to see with that title.
I agree. So guys, that's about it from Main Event Mixer episode 16. Tucky, why don't you inform the listeners of what is coming up in OTM world?
Well, right now, you need to go to bit.ly/OTMEs24, OTMMYS24, and get your votes in. Our show coming up this Thursday, the 19th, is going to be our 4th annual end-of-year award show, the OTMEs, and this is by far the most votes we've received through in our 4th year. We have doubled the amount of votes already that we got last year, so head on over to bit.ly/OTMMYS, OTMEs24 to get your votes in. Anonymous. We've got a couple new categories this year, including MVM of the year. And one of those nominees was present in the chat with us this morning. The Great Brown Hope is one of the nominees for most valuable mark of the year.
He's got my vote.
10 categories. I will not disclose who I'm voting for. My ballot is not official yet. I have not submitted my votes. Yeah,
I got 30 hours. You better get it in. I'm cutting it off by Raw.
Really? Oh,
well,
wow.
Yeah, that way people that are presenting, like the podcast dad with his co-host, Mr. Cincinnati, that gives them time to create some entertaining videos that we will present on the OTMEs next week. But
makes sense.
Speaking of the Junkies podcast, podcast dad, anything exciting coming up next week for you guys?
Yeah, we'll be live.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
we'll be podcasting. I don't know if we have any guests lined up. I don't think we do. Checking the calendar, but yeah, we'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. We've been kind of, winding it down the last couple of weeks. We've both of us have had some stuff going on, just busy schedules. We'll blame holidays. We will definitely be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just recapping the week. I'm sure we'll talk Saturday night's main event tomorrow, preview Raw. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. We're at 390, trying to get to 400 before the end of the year. Please go subscribe. Please tell a friend, tell Santa Claus, and then he can tell all the little kids. Let's just have some fun. And then when we hit 500, we'll pop the champagne and have a fun little episode.
Yeah, and while you're at it, guys,
400.
Follow the On the Merc Wrestling Podcast. We're on the road to 400 as well, and we're giving away a signed Rey Mysterio figure. Of course, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. We are just one subscriber away from 50. We're inching our way up there, guys. This is probably going to be the final Main Event Mixer for this year, so I want to thank everybody for joining us on this journey. We are relatively new still to the internet wrestling community as a network, so the fact that you guys are following along for this I'm very humbled by the support. So hopefully we're going to be doing bigger and better things here at the Main Event Wrestling Network next year, so follow us along on that journey at mainevent_net. And guys, check out all the great merchandise available at GorillaPressApparel.BigCartel.com. Use promo code MEM24. You're going to save some money. It's great stuff. Podcast Dad, you probably got, 5 different pieces of merch from that website? Everything's great.
Yeah. Yep, I think I got 5 T-shirts in there. I got the old WCW, font. I got the old ECW font. A couple other cool ones. Yeah, it's amazing. Go check them out. Go support them. And again, if you're an independent wrestler that needs merch, contact them. They will help you out.
Yes, sir. So Tucky, I know you don't typically do this for the mixers, but can you send us home? I don't feel like sending us home.
First off, ladies and gentlemen, happy holidays. 10 days until Santa makes the global trek. I watched Red 1 last night with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I thought it was fun. I thought it was kind of fun. A fun little thing to do. Augie slept through it, so he was not as entertained as I was. But we have just concluded a 4-weekend stretch of WWE, AEW, NXT. Time to wind down into the holidays as we get ready for New Year's Eve and January 6th, the launch of WWE on Netflix. And we know we're getting Roman and Solo for the Ulafala. So a lot of things to be grateful for. And the Main Event Network wishes you all a happy holidays. The Rock. If he needs my Venmo, I can provide, but he has not contacted me. I thought it was fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Sunday morning Main Event Mixer.
See ya.